And we are here, finally. Well, I guess not finally. This is Wally, back for the first race stream I've done in a while now, I think. The rest of the team's basically taken over everything. However, with week 9 here, along with all the predictions that everybody's waiting on, get some, maybe a little bit of TPE from, we'll get this stream underway. And get rolling basically immediately. Not going to be as much commentation as what typically is when I'm on broadcast, but I'll have some input as we keep going through here. Going to be here by myself tonight, which is totally fine. But yeah, we'll get right into this right away and go from there. Alright, so Maple Soup's going to be taking the front role there of tonight's SK race. Chicken, Alexander, going to be on the pole with the Mercedes right behind them, and Hayden and Guthrie. All the bots are labeled identical in my file, so we're going to see that. Bot Valpina there in 5th, and O'Sullivan of Hot Wheels Racing in 6th. The last user there is going to be sitting down at 12th with Puff 2. Needless to say, we're going to jump right into racing and keep the show rolling. SK, as some of you obviously are aware at this point, 10 lap event. So heading into this race, O'Sullivan and Hayden are separated by only 1 point, with Alexander another 3 behind, and Guthrie at 111, 6 back from the leader. So far right now, we have Hayden taking the lead, with Chicken and Alexander following up there in 2nd and 3rd, and O'Sullivan just right on their bumper. Should definitely be seeing possibly 1 pit here. Looks like we have some damage with the bots there in the back of the field. Thankfully, all the users have basically stayed clear of any of the carnage that brought about in that one. Hayden here is about a 2nd gap on Chicken. A little bit different sets of strategy when it comes to the tires. Hayden definitely would be going to the pits here. Typically only expected 4 to 6 laps on the softs here on this supercar track. Chicken's going to have a little bit more life there, but the question's going to be at the end is how much strategy is going to play into the role if Chicken, getting near the end of those laps, tries to stay out on those hards for a no pit strategy. Sullivan now just sandwiched in between the Maple Street drivers in 2nd place, managing to be a 2nd back of Chicken. Because right now all of them are sitting basically on the same strategy, with Guthrie there sitting in 5th. Hayden's crawled back up into 5th place, passing Guthrie when he pits on mediums. Take note of that, because the last 3 here are on hards. And yep, here they come in for the tires. We'll see where they come out here with Hayden passing by, taking the lead. They're going to be on fresher softs. The question's going to be is what can they do to track down Hayden? 3 seconds back for Chicken. .350s now the gap, 318. Sort of going back and forth here. Let's check on the life of Hayden. Actually went into the pits, so going to come back out on soft. Pretty interesting strategy. Two stops, especially with only 2 here left to get through on these tires. I'm not quite sure there's going to be enough space for Hayden to make up that ground. Alexander looking to the inside on his teammate. Chicken blocks him, cuts him off, and cuts through guesses. Chicken sort of had just that stronger line going into that first turn. Right now, Hayden's sitting about 1.8 back. Chicken and Alexander continue to lead the way as we get into the last lap of the race. Cause a problem here is any kind of lap traffic, as O'Sullivan has definitely made his way back up. Hayden's coming, only 150 back. And here's where we could see some interesting maneuver here, as the bot definitely holds up Alexander, and saying that Chicken will walk away with this win on the final lap. Alexander manages to hold off O'Sullivan. Hayden in 4th. The Alpiner bot here coming in 5th, with Guthrie coming in 6th. Puff 2 is going to be our last user, coming in at 8th today. Well, that wasn't what we had hoped to do there. Luckily, we should have those files on the broadcast, which will be fine on that one. Would love to go over the results, but can't really reverse here, but they will be on the broadcast. Going to hop right back into the stream here. Yep, it seems our files are back, so we should be good. All right, now we are off to Netherlands here for the F3 race. As for F3, they're going to run one qualifying lap. looks like Shiftwell there is gonna take the pole for F3. So your starting lineup for the F3 race is going to be Shiftwell of Mole KTM, Sile there of Mercedes, Jones of Maple Street Racing, and Mercedes Kygo in the 4th spot. Starting in row 3, we're going to have Rowe and Toth of McLaren and Mole KTM, Hastite of Alpina in 7th, 8th Carlin, 9th Ray, 10th Steiner. The back half of the field is going to be Holmberg of McLaren in 11th. Demerardis in 12th, Gosling in 13th, Muffin in 14th. 15th is Jobin, 16th Cuddles, 17th Dummy, 18th Dion, 19th the bot driver of Hendricks, and SquarePants there rounding out the field of Ferrari in 20th. Saying that, let's get off to racing here. Just a recap here for Formula 3. Only 4 points separates Carlin and Jones in the season standings, with Scud Muffin another 10 points back, and Crash Test Dummy 5 back from him. So still close up at the top. Anybody's game here as we enter week 9. So let's get rolling. A little bit of a mix of starting tires. Sile takes the inside lead there as Kygo works his way around Shiftwell, and Shiftwell seems to be dropping there. Losing a little bit of steam coming around that 3rd turn, but seems to just find his groove here as he tries to work his way around Jones, but keeps forcing him outside as Steiner makes it 3 wide and coming through, and Hastite doing the same, coming up the middle. Right now, up in the lead, Sile and Kygo continue to fight for the lead, causing a bit of damage between the two Mercedes. Carlin tries to make a move there, trying to pick off up to 6th, I believe that was, but ended up catching the grass. Hastite sort of entering the fray here, trying to contend there for the lead, with Shiftwell making his way back up to the front. Hastite makes his way around Sile along with Shiftwell, takes that opportunity to do the same, but ends up going wide there in the penultimate corner. Kygo has nice lead right now. Hastite seems to be making up some ground and driving a smoother line. Four to 6 laps is this projected tire life here on these softs. So we'll look to see how long they can make this last, as Shiftwell is already in the pits with some damage. As these guys round the corner here, they most likely will be pitting here. We'll try and take a couple steps back here and see how the rest of the field is faring. Carlin stays out there on mediums. We should be going another lap further. And we got Jobin, maybe another lap longer with him as well. So not too much of a wear difference between the two tires, but definitely be a speed difference, as we saw a couple drivers on hards falling right through the pack at the start of the race. We'll work our way back here to close battles in the back of the pack, trying to make my way back around to the front with Jobin. Wheeling those hards around, gonna stay out for another lap it seems. And Kygo will definitely take advantage of this, as Jobin's fighting that car going around some of these corners. Those tires are definitely spent, as we can see some of that drift in there going around the corners as Kygo pulls in, but definitely accumulating some damage here. takes the lead, spanks the wall, keeps it on the track, and collects it as the lap leader 9. Back in second, we have Sile and Hastite fighting for second and third. Took another step back, we have Toth and Steiner duking it out for fourth and fifth. Some good battles here in the mid-pack. That early stop with Shiftwell, he's definitely in here for another round of tires. Interesting part there is Kygo actually made a second stop as well, another set of softs. And we're gonna see the hard part here might be this traffic in front of him getting around, but he seems to be cutting it up just fine. Surprise there to see Kygo going into the pits. So this would be third, stop number 3. Make it to the end now, but it didn't look like it was a necessary stop. Right now, second, third, fourth has about 6 seconds to make up, which leaders are pulling out of the pits. Sile does keep the lead. Kygo into third. Job and Carlin fighting for third and fourth. Hastite right behind. And there's Hastite go making his move on Carlin, making it up around, trying to swing outside, inside, set him up on the S, and makes it to the start-finish line in third place as we enter the closing laps of this race. It's a nice tight race right up at the front. We got the Alpiners and the Mercedes fighting for lead positions here. Sile turns on the turbo, gets around, makes a tight corner, making his way back to the lead here. So we are at the last lap of the race. The Alpiners have been conserving some of that turbo here, which I'm guessing to make a move here on the last part of the race. If they can track Sile down, they might be able to use that to do so. Still haven't kicked it in. Doesn't need to. Takes second. Kygo third. Jobin fourth. Carlin fifth. Steiner sixth. Shiftwell seventh. Gosling eighth. Toth ninth. Ray 10th. Rove 11th. Dummy and Muffin fight for 12th. Jones in 14th. Holmberg coming back here in 15th. Dion 16th. Cuddles 17th. Demerartis in 18th. Your singular bot, SquarePants, trying to get around, makes it a pass to make the bot take the 20th spot. Yep, obviously I sim, and of course Sile would win to add to the criticism. Sile takes the win here for P1. Hastite in second. Kygo of Mercedes there in third. Jobin fourth. Carlin fifth. Steiner sixth. Shiftwell seventh. Gosling eighth. Mole KTM there ninth, getting 2-point spots. Ray in 10th. Just to note also, Kygo there with the fast lap of the race. Rove of McLaren in 11th. Muffin in 12th. 13th. Dummy in 13th, 14th Jones, 15th Holmberg, 16th Dion, 17th Cuddles, 18th Demerartis, of Ice Cube Racing, 19th SquarePants, and then 20th is the bot. Now we'll set up here for F2, which we're going to a little bit of a drenched setting. we are all set to get into the race here, but we'll go over just we'll start qualifying. We'll talk a little bit about the standings as we're rolling through. So it's going to be a wet race here, as it's going to be 100% rain. Never guarantee that it's going to be 100%, because once in a while it does stop, but it is what it is. Heading into this race, though, we're going to have Savage leading the points at 120, with Gordon Jr. and Driver at 103, and Victory there back in fourth at 71. So a little bit of a gap there, definitely established enough to. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out here. So, points leader Savage taking the pole there with the 25.83 in the rain. Pilgrim in second. Duhamel in third. Toast in fourth. Carvalho in fifth. Bushlight of Hendrick there in sixth. Apollo in seventh. Driver in eighth. Ninth is Curd. 10th, Gordon Jr. In 11th, we have Capeta. 12th, Shero. 13th, Trickle. 14th, I Go Quick. Skywalker in 15th. Zolins in 16th, Popcat in 17th, Sinclair 18th, Bree 19th, and Smo in 20th. We're going to hop right into the race here, keep the night rolling. 24 laps for the main event for Formula 2. Here we go. Wet tires looking like should last about 7 to 9 laps, so projecting here probably 3 to 4 stops would be my guess, with these cars really packing it in tight there going into the first heavy turn. Savage manages to keep the lead. Pilgrim trying to fight his way on the outside here, taking the long road, and manages to keep that lane as he progressed that last one. Pilgrim forced to take a penalty there and now files back to fifth, with Savage taking the lead from him. Not too sure what penalty happened there. I think Pilgrim ended up getting into Carvalho, entering the last turn, pushing him wide, and forcing that penalty, which ended up dropping him back in the standings there. We definitely see Carvalho took some damage though on that mishap there at the end of the first lap. Savage definitely opening up a bit of a gap there. Apollo slides off the track. Toast and Pilgrim managed to slip by with Curd in tow. Quite a bit more damage here in this race, being taken up front with the leaders. Between Topalo, Carvalho, and Toast, I think it's only a matter of time right here before we see possibly some pit here due to some damage. These tighter turns at the end of the lap are definitely providing issues, and Toast there, unfortunately, is caught on the outside, which ended up blocking pit and got pulled in tight to that turn. Pilgrim here, about almost 2 seconds back of Savage. One of the benefits always of the leader is going to be you just have some clear air. You don't have people obstructing your racing lane, and therefore you're not going to accumulate as much damage if you're driving up there by yourself. See, the tires definitely starting to wear down on these guys. Yeah, they're going to stay out for another lap. Wouldn't be surprised to see him come in next time around. We'll walk our way back through the field here as they've spread out a little bit. Curd there in fourth, Capeta in fifth. Carvalho, the first one in order here that has pit already. Skywalker, his teammate, in seventh. I Go Quick and Toast of Mercedes, they're duking it out with Lady Driver trying to keep that lane open and sneak her way by. Topalo, they're in 11th. Shero entering the pits of Ferrari in 12th. Duhamel in 13th. Popcat just trailing there after already pitting. Bushlight, Smo, Sinclair, and Trickle with Ozalens following up, and bringing up the rear of the field. Got the leaders coming in for a pit here. And with that timing there, I mean, Carvalho, even though facing damage, was able to keep that gap there and actually close it a bit, because less than a second. Obviously, big factor of the race right now is just this rain is not letting up seemingly. We don't do red lights here, so we will continue with this sort of treacherous sort of downpour as Savage continues to lead the race with Carvalho just behind. Pilgrim's catching up little by little. We'll see if he can track him down. And that is not what Carvalho essentially wanted to see with his Olins in the way. Pilgrim makes the most of that and sort of uses him as a backboard heading into that turn. Carvalho heading in for his second pit of the day, and that's what we had to assume was going to end up happening with him having to stop for damage early. Those tires wear a little bit faster, wore down. Savage now about 2 seconds up on Pilgrim, with Gordon Jr. and teammate driver following. Savage, as we see those, running into some lap traffic here. Biggest question is going to be is on this lap traffic is avoiding some of the damage that you run into here. So far staying pretty clear. Taking a little bit. Some bumping and banging. Pilgrim coming up on the outside. Can't sneak by. And he does. Savage is forced out onto the grass by Duhamel with a lap car. Pilgrim takes the lead. Now both of these guys pit right at the same time, so they are on pretty level playing field when it comes to the tires. Lap 15 right now. A little bit over halfway. Savage cannot get by these two lap cars. Finally does, and should start being able to catch up here to Pilgrim if that damage doesn't affect them. Savage is just having a field there with the lap cars. These guys should be coming in this lap here, as these tires have definitely worn down. This will be their last hit unless they deal with some damage. Carvalho will take the lead for a brief moment here. As you can see, his tires are worn down. He'll probably have to pit another 2 laps. Savage just loves sort of working his way around Duhamel there. So he was the issue that was caused before. Pilgrim now is starting to track down Carvalho slowly. Savage, the battle to keep a watch on here is that Pilgrim Savage battle. As Carvalho's going to have to take some tires here relatively quickly, and it's probably going to take him out of the battle for the lead. Yep, as we see him go in. So we got the gap now. Pilgrim gets out in front of the Zolans. Now the gap is at about 1.25. We'll put her at. Do not count Savage out. He is the points leader for a reason. But Pilgrim is definitely putting up a fight today here at a very wet Dutch course. Just saw Smo take a penalty for forcing Pilgrim out onto the grass. Didn't seem to slow him up too much here, as this gap has grown by about 2 seconds. Pilgrim is just driving smoother at the closing stages here, but these lap cars are going to probably provide a problem, the same problem that Savage ran into when he came up on his before the last pit. Capeta, the last driver he's going to have to get by, but meanwhile Savage is going to have to deal with the same issue. And that actually helped Pilgrim being able to take advantage of that penalty. Savage's force is almost 4 wide going around the outside, and that move right there is going to cost Savage heading into the closing stages of this race. Gap right now is about 2.5 seconds. Tires starting to wear down on both Savage and Pilgrim. Apollo gives Savage a bit of a shove as he tries to help his teammate pull back Savage in this second to the last lap. Reed does his part in moving aside. Apollo, teammate of Pilgrim, is basically that stopping point there. The last lap of the race, Pilgrim's got about 1.5 seconds, say 2 seconds up there on Savage. And this one looks like it's going to be an Alpiner victory. As Tapalo comes through, gives him a shove. Savage in second, Carvalho in third. Gordon Jr. is going to pull up fourth. Kurd making his way around with driver in tow. Going to finish fifth. Driver sixth. Tow seventh. Apollo eighth. Skywalker here in ninth. I Go Quick is going to be the last points getter in 10th. Capeta in 11th. Duhamel fighting there. Trying to stay ahead of Trickle for 12th. Trickle 13th. Popcat going to finish in 14th. Sharrow in 15th. Ree 16th. 17th is Bushlight. 18th Small, 19th Sinclair, 20th Zolans. I'm going to go through the field one more time here, just because I just was finishing that out. Pilgrim is your Formula 2 race winner of Alpiner in P1. Savage, P2. Carvalho finishes third of Mole KTM. Gordon Jr., Kurd in driver in 4th, 5th, and 6th. Toast in 7th. Apollo in 8th. Skywalker in 9th. I Go Quick once again finishing 10th with that final points. Gordon Jr. is going to take our fast lap of the day and is going to get his bonus points that way. Capeta is going to finish 11th, Duhamel 12th, Trickle 13th, Popcat, Sharrow of the Ferraris in 14th, 15th. Ree 16th, Bushlight 17th, Smo 18th, Sinclair 19th, and Azolans going to bring up the rear of the field of John Deere Racing in 20th. So in saying that, we are going to head over to Formula 1. back to some sunny racing, thankfully. We should be all set to go. So we are going to head right on over. I'll touch on the standings as I did F2 during qualifying. And we're going to get rolling here for our main event of Formula One in Netherlands. All right, so taking the pole is going to be Angelic of Ferrari. Devil is going to finish your front row. Van der Buysen of Ice Cube Racing in third. Destruc in fourth. Chicken in fifth. Bingo in sixth. Albano in seventh. Johnson in eighth. Simmer in ninth. Dadley in 10th. In the bottom half of the field, we're going to have Utah in 11th, Von Salinar in 12th, Muller in 13th, Burkhardt 14th, Andrews 15th, Maldonado in 16th, Mamiya in 17th with their teammate Martin in 18th, Brooks in 19th, and Venegas in 20th. So when saying that, I did not summarize the standings. Right now we have Devil leading the points in Formula One with 115 points. Bingo following with 93. Venegas is a point behind him at 92. Destruc within distance there at 86, and Burkhardt rounding out your top 5 at 64th. Without further ado, let's get rolling. It'll be a little bit of a chaos here as we enter these first couple turns here. The field bunching up, as we've seen in the last 2 races, they do spread out a bit. Had a pretty strong race there in Formula 3. F2 is a little bit more spread out. Going to be interesting to see how these drivers take it with Devil right off to the lead on those softs. Albano is fighting back though on those hards. And Helic looking to the inside there on the turns. Going to force him to the outside as we go down here. Going to take back the lead as they start lap 3. First segment, Devil just has down. He's almost like clockwork getting through that. He's able to speed away. It's this part of the track that Devil's line hasn't been as sharp yet, but this time seems to be doing a lot better. We'll go back in the field here a little bit here as the leader's sort of taking his way. Destruc looks to the inside of Chicken and Bingo. Ends up catching the sand, takes some damage, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him coming in to fix some damage this lap, as you see that smoke sort of cutting out the back. Bingo also in. Simmer looks to the inside of the Hendricks boys, unable to take that lead. But does as Dadley catches the grass, loses some speed, loses some time, and loses a spot. Simmer looks to the inside now to take out the teammate, and does. Now the interesting part to this is the tire strategy. Softs should go 8 to 12. Hards, on the other hand, should go 12 to 17, so considerably longer. It's going to be interesting to see if the hards only make it one stop. Manage to stretch out. Get back up to the battle for the lead here as Helic, Devil, and Vanderbijsen fight for it, but also are starting to cause each other some damage here. And Muller's worked his way all the way up to 4th after starting 14th, I believe. So I'd say if there was a drive of the race so far, it would be the Mercedes and Muller fighting his way and clawing his way up to the top 4. Helic goes in with some damage. Tires should last for another lap or so here, I would guess. But there's the difference. You got Chicken there on hards, and he could probably go for another 4 or 5 laps. They keep this up. Vanderbijsen ends up bringing Muller into the pits with him. And they end up hugging each other on the way out of the pits. It's an interesting tactic. If you got to give up a spot, you may as well drag him into the pits with you. Chicken, meanwhile, takes the lead. Out there on hards. The only driver yet to pit. Devil will catch up here, though, on those mediums. Take a little bit longer, and Helic, I could imagine passing Devil here on those softs, but those tires leaving themselves out. Taking a look back at mediums, though. Mediums are that in-between tire, going to be 10 to 14 laps. Those hards definitely can... I mean, right now, I'd say he's probably got another 2 laps on those hards. Just all depends on what the AI dials up for a strategy. Devil there, takes the pass, makes the pass for the lead. Chicken stays out. We're getting a little glimpse of how long these hards will last. He's still got some tread on those as he makes his way around, keeps it out of the sand, takes the lead. So working our way back through the field, we got Muller's here on softs in 4th, Bingo 5th. A bunch of drivers there in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Molinado in 10th, and he worked his way up. Dadley in 11th, Mia 12th, Urbano 13th, Burkhart, Van Salinar, Johnson, Andrews, Brooks down to 18th with Martin and Venegas there rounding out the field. Field's definitely started to work its way up, spread itself out a little bit here. Chicken, noting on lap 15, takes his first stop. Vanderbijsen works his way around Simmer. Devil right now up in the lead, and Helic goes in for tires. Muller up to second. Devil in first. Tires probably have another 3 to 4 in them, would be my guess. Right now, we're going to be about halfway through the race at the moment. Muller heads into the pits, which will only open up that gap here for Devil, which now sits at about 5.5 seconds. Bingo just behind Vanderbeisen, and Helic, our pole sitter there, sits in fourth. Helic makes a slick little move there. Now he's on a little bit fresher tires than the rest of these guys here on mediums. Here we have that, what will be a fight for the lead, as we have Devil out on fresh mediums, tracking down Helic. Devil does manage to overtake Helic, who is on those mediums that have a little bit more wear to them. 10-14 laps expected on these. I have to imagine now with a couple on, it'd be a stretch for Devil to make it without one more stop. And Helic absolutely is going to have another stop. And with Muller having the same sort of situation that Helic does. So I have a feeling here everybody's going to have to stop once more, and it's going to be a fight to the end here, as my guess would be everybody would want to put on softs if they have to stop one more time, but we've seen weirder things happen, so it's only time will tell. Chicken is the one driver where I think might be able to go the rest of the way. We'll keep an eye on that. Stroop definitely will be able to go the rest of the way. Bingo might possibly as well. So really the end of this race is going to come down to tire strategy, and Helic has seemingly fought back. Now just losing it as I talk about it in that battle with Devil. So the tires are not gone yet. In fact, they're right there. First to third here within 2 seconds of each other. Chicken is about 2 seconds back of Muller. But these gaps are ever changing. As Mamiya holds up Devil a little bit. So the gap to keep an eye on here is, yes, going to C. So it looks like everybody's going to come in. Vanderbeisen stays out. Vanderbeisen stays out on those mediums, and the question's going to be is if those can get to the end of the race. He has to go into pit. He's going to lose significant time if he doesn't pit now. Yep, and as we see, those contenders there all threw on some softs. Mamiya is not getting out of the way, and it's causing for a little bit of a headache there for Vander Bison. He's simply just trying to create some space between him and Devil, and once again gives the spot back up. Martin just not giving up the spot. Devil works his way on the inside, takes the lead, and with those softs, it's going to be hard to track him down the remainder of the race. That you see right there is going to be the difference between having a fresh set of softs on and a worn set of mediums, as Vander Bison still struggles to get around the lap car of Mark Martin. And Helic about 1.5 seconds back of Devil here as we get to the closing laps of this race. So far right now we have Devil with the fast time of 22.7 on the day, so we'll also pick up an additional point in regards to their march towards the championship here in Season 3. Second to the last lap, and I think Devil's going to have enough space now between Angelic and Tim with these slower lap cars coming up. Holding him up a tad. With the damage of Destruc, yep, we will slide right by. He does get to the inside there. Down to about a second of a gap. I don't think he's going to be able to do it as Devil takes the Grand Prix here at the Netherlands. And Helic, Mueller in third, Vander Bison holds on in fourth, Chicken in fifth, Bingo, Simmer fighting for sixth. A nice pass on the last lap there. Maldonado in eighth. Utah trying to hold on to ninth. And Dadley finishing in the last point stop in 10th. Destruc coming around to an 11th. Albano 12th. Mamiya working their way to 13th. Andrews in 14th. Von Salinar in 15th. Johnson 16th. All right. Back to the final results here for the Formula One race. Devil here takes P1 and wins here in the Netherlands today in our feature event. Also will accumulate the extra additional points for the fast lap, and Helic finishes second. Muller in third, Vander Bison fourth, Chicken in fifth, Simmer in sixth, Bingo in seventh, Maldonado in eighth, Utah in ninth. Dadley rounds out your points earners in 10th of Hendricks Racing. In 11th we have Destruc, Albano in 12th, Mamiya in 13th, Andrews in 14th, Von Salinar in 15th, Johnson in 16th. Burkhart, Brooks, and Martin go 17th, 18th, and 19th, with the Venegas finishing 20th of Maelstrom. Some good races tonight, some back and forth, which is always nice to see. That closes off this week of racing here for SCOR, with week 9, week 3 coming to a close. And we look forward to hopping back on this coming week, and as we approach the second half of the season here. Well, we're in the second half of the season, but we are definitely making our way towards championship week here as we approach the second to the last week of the season. So you guys all have a great extended weekend for those North Americaners, and have a good night.